So today we are hosting our respected speakers. First from RAK Petroleum Authority, we have Chris Wood, the Chief Executive Officer at RAK Petroleum Authority. We have Philip McLean, the Legal Counsel at RAK Petroleum Authority. And from our academic professors from the American University of Ras Al Khaimah, we have Dr. Hamid Assaf, the Interim Dean of School of Engineering. And we also joined with Dr. Sarah, the Chair of the Chemical and Petroleum Engineering Department. So welcome everyone, and thank you for joining us today. So we'll start our first question to Mr. Philip McLean. The question is, can you give us an introduction about RAK Petroleum Authority?
Sure. Thanks. Good to speak to you guys. So RAK Petroleum Authority is a relatively new creation. It's an emanation of the state, the government, and it's charged with the regulation of the petroleum industry. Now that petroleum industry extends to all hydrocarbons produced within the emirate. RAK has a long history of being an energy producer. There's been exploration and production of oil and gas since the 80s. But RAK by itself came into existence in 2018. And since then it's been going through a process of evolving, and it's secured partners to explore for hydrocarbons offshore and onshore within Ras Al Khaimah, and to commercialize that. Its remit extends to the regulation of the industry, so that is the safety, the longevity of the industry, and also to promoting the industry. Through a licensing round, which was held in 2019, it secured partners. One of the super majors, ENI, which is the Italian national oil company, and PGNiG, the Polish national oil company, to come on board and bring their talent and experience into the emirate, and hopefully secure some valuable resource exploitation and trickle down and benefit the whole emirate.
Thank you, Mr. Philip. And now we'd like to direct our next question to Dr. Hamid Assaf. So, Dr. Hamid, if you would like also introduce us American University of Ras Al Khaimah with a brief summary.
Well, actually, thank you very much for this opportunity. I would like to hear from the students here or the applicants. The American University of Ras Al Khaimah was established in 2009. And it was, prior to that, it was George Mason University. George Mason is one of the top universities in the US. So we took over from them in 2009. At that time, we had very few programs. Later on, we actually became much larger in terms of number of students and faculty, and also in facilities. So right now we have around 1,000 students and about 100 faculty and over 111 staff. And the university has like a large number of programs, as I mentioned. I mean, I am, as the Dean of the School of Engineering, I oversee about 15 programs, 3 of them as a graduate and the others are undergraduate. In addition to petroleum and chemical engineering, where Dr. Sarah will speak about, we have programs in all traditional engineering and also in artificial intelligence. So we have artificial intelligence, we have computer science, computer engineering, we have mechanical engineering, civil engineering, electrical engineering, or ECE, we call it, and petroleum and architecture and interior design. So we have a wide range of programs. And this is a big strength to ARAK, because having so many faculty from different backgrounds allows people to cooperate and work together, and also benefit students. So students can have, when they do their work or their projects, they can benefit from the advice of many faculty. And as I mentioned, one of the advantages also from ARAK, we are accredited by the CEA and by SAC-COC. SAC-COC is a body of accreditation in the US. This is extremely important and it's very hard to get. So we have that, and that will help students if they want to do their graduate studies in the US or even work in the US or North America. That would be fairly easy. Another thing is APIT accreditation. So all our engineering programs are APIT accredited. And this is another important thing. So we are, as you notice here, we are quite flexible. We're happy to receive any of you as guests to learn more about the university. Thank you.
Thank you, Doctor. Mr. McLean, a question to you. So, can you tell us the purpose of the RAK Petroleum Authority scholarship?
Sure. I'd probably take a step back from there and describe how RAK secures its partners in the exploration. The framework is through an exploration production sharing agreement, which is a contractual agreement between ENI or PGNIG and RAKPA as the representative of the Emirate. And in that, it's designed to facilitate the contractor exploring, investing significant sums of money with the opportunity to take a share of the profit realized from actual production. And these are very long term, these agreements. The exploration phase may only be a few years, but it's anticipated, it's hoped that this is going to be a decades-long agreement. Now, part of that is, it's actually a very important part, and it's something which gets heavily negotiated on the way in, is local content. And this is where RAKPA has secured funding from these partners. They've secured funding from ENI and they've secured funding from PGNIG, which is to be directed towards RAK citizens to upskill the local labour force. Now, we anticipate RAKPA negotiated that they want to direct these funds, which are fairly significant, towards the petroleum industry in any level, and it's essentially the management, technical, any competencies which will benefit the petroleum industry. Because RAKPA's goal is not short term, it's not simply securing partners to funnel money in, it's to upskill the local labour force. As I say, we want RAK citizens to be the catalysts, the drivers of the petroleum industry going forward. And that's the purpose of the scholarship. We identified AU RAK, the AQF, as our partners here. They're the people who will bring the most value, and we want to channel the funds we receive from our partners into the students who will benefit RAK as the Emirate.
Thank you, Mr. Khaled. And now our next question will be for Dr. Sarah. So, Dr. Sarah, would you please tell us about what are the benefits from studying petroleum engineering and chemical engineering programs?
Thank you all for giving me this opportunity. Okay, before I start telling you about the benefit of the two programs, I'm going to give you a brief about what are those programs exactly. So the idea for the chemical engineering is one of the engineering disciplines that focus about designing process to transform, transport, and produce new materials. So basically, chemical engineers are focusing about producing benefit materials or materials that the society can benefit from it, and also find a way to produce different sources of energy, because we all know that energy is one of the driving source for all the developing countries. So chemical engineers are focused on that one. So idea for the chemical engineers it's a discipline that focus about combining basic science such as math, chemistry, physics, and biology. So the benefit of choosing or studying chemical engineers is the first things, the graduate will have a wide range of career. So they can work in different industries, such as oil and gas industries, like renewable energy, food production, pharmaceuticals, wastewater treatment, solid management, and different and much more industries. This is regarding the chemical engineering. And also they can work in oil and gas sectors as well. So for the petroleum engineering is a field that focuses about exploring the oil or exploring hydrocarbon or production of hydrocarbon. And this hydrocarbon could be an oil or could be like a natural gas. So they focus about the process that used to explore and drill the oil, and also about the extraction of the oil from different sources. So also basically petroleum engineering, they will focus about providing a source of energy, which is the petrol. And also petrol is used as a raw material for different production or in different processes. Such you can produce from petroleum like rubbers, you can produce plastic, you can produce cosmetics, perfumes, and other products as well. So we all know that the need for energy will continue, and the need for petroleum and chemical engineering will also continue.
Thank you, Doctor. Going back to Mr. Philip, question to you, Mr. McLean and Mr. Wood. What are the benefits to the students from the scholarship after they graduate?
I think RAKPA's position within the Emirate is would bring real value to the recipients of the scholarship. RAKPA is obviously very closely associated with RAK Gas, who is the national oil company of RAK, and RAK Gas is a partner in each of our development fields in the exploration efforts. Now they sit very closely with ENI and PGNIG and also have overseas exploration. We will be able to potentially offer hands-on experience, which is frankly I don't think will be available anywhere else within RAK. We have the very close connections with ENI and PGNIG. As I say, I refer to them as partnerships because these overseas entities are coming here to explore, but they need our engagement at all times. So we have very close ties with them at a technical and administrative level, and we see that there's an opportunity for scholarship candidates to potentially come and sit with us, sit with our technical team in RAK Gas, sit with RAKPA as an administrative level, and also potentially have an easy route into ENI and PGNIG. That may be overseas, it may be in RAK, and develop their career through these close connections.
Just to build on that, so when we're talking about the petrochemical or the petroleum industry, you've got to remember it's going through a big evolution, call it what you will, right now. And we're looking to maximize the resources that we have under our fleet. So we don't just look at the engineering fields as opportunities. We also look at data. So a lot of our exploration is data driven and how we maximize and optimize that data. We're looking at process improvements and process safety. So we're looking at various areas around that and how we can get better equipment, better ways of drilling, better ways of operating. And we're also, once we've extracted the hydrocarbons, we're looking at how we're going to utilize them. And we're in conversations with various companies to talk about how best to get the value out of those hydrocarbons. Currently, some of it is used as fuels, and the world is moving away from that as a way of producing heat and energy. But as Sarah touched on, a lot of the hydrocarbons go into the petrochemical industry and other renewable energies. So the wind blades, if you strip that back, is actually sourced from hydrocarbons. Everything that surrounds us, paints, your latest cars, your Lamborghinis, your plastics, your advanced plastics, all come from hydrocarbons today, and will do in the future. So what we're looking at is to try and build some capabilities, some knowledge, and therefore this is why we see it so important working with the fund and the scholarships that they provide through that, to bring out more entrepreneurship, more ideas, more experience within Ras Al Khaimah.
Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Chris. And now to direct our question to Dr. Sarah. So, Dr. Sarah, please let us know about student experience in this field, what the experience they will gain, and what the outcomes that will be at end of their degree journey.
Okay. So first, in our programs, we have a diversity of students. They are from different countries. So the idea, the first things they will learn about how to work in a team. They build their team skills. And the program itself, as Dr. Hamid mentioned, the program are accredited programs from the ABIT and also the CAA. So the degree that they will get at the end, it will be like useful all around the world. We focus on our curriculum in order to build the basic about the two majors, the chemical and petroleum, and also to give students like a real experience about the real industry. So we focus about the hand-on experiments. So we have an art and very well-equipped laboratories for the two programs, chemical and petroleum engineering. We also take our students for field trip, so they will link between the theoretical part and the industrial part. We focus about like providing students with a different project, like a designing project, so they will build their designing skills from the program itself. They learn how to solve problems and challenging problems, because this is what they will face in their real life when they will graduate. So we try actually to build different skills in our graduate, such as problem solving skills, communication skills, teamwork skills, and also designing skills. And this is the basic things for what the graduate will benefit from here. In addition to that one, we focus about, we know that in academy, we need to make a balance between the academia and also the different experience or different skills, soft skills that the student they need to have after they graduate. So we encourage our students to go for internship. Actually, we have part of the curriculum is an internship. So they will go and do an internship in one of the companies related to the major. For like 8 weeks. This will give them an experience about what will be the real life and real work environment. And also they will build their teamwork skills there, and we test different things during their internship period. So we also we encourage them for like graduate studies after that. So we start by giving them different to learn how to do a research during their undergraduate period. So we start by building the research skills and different other skills. This is actually what we focus on the students in our programs. Thank you.
Excellent. To continue with you, Dr. Sarah, you kind of answered the next question, but can you give us more of what kind of practical experience the students would get from the internship?
Actually, the idea, we place our students in one of the companies that's related to their majors. So they will have a direct contact with the engineers there. So they will see how the process are working, how they can design a process, how they can be involved in projects there as well, and how they can build their skills, like their teamwork skills and other skills as well. So this is one of the things. And also these things will be tested by the field engineer, who will be the supervisor on them on the field side, and also their like academic advisor or the academic supervisor from our sides. This is regarding the internship. We also provide our students by seminars, okay, who basically arranged by some people from the industry, okay, before they go for their internship, because normally internship will be after the finishing of the junior year. Before that, also we do different seminars. We bring people from industry to talk about the industrial part, okay, and we took them for a full field trips, because we are during our curriculum we build all the skills in the curriculum. So the student, when they find or they know how to link between their theoretical and the practical, they will know what is the benefit of their major itself before they go to the real life.
Thank you, Dr. Sarah. And now we'll move to Mr. Philip. So, Mr. Philip, so would you tell us what is RAK's expectation from the students during their studies and during, like, after their graduation?
Sure. I don't think that RAK particularly have any strong expectations. Our function is to support the industry within Ras Al Khaimah, and it's not a short-term goal. It's a long-term goal. Any individuals who benefit from our scholarships, whether they do actually leave the Emirate, whether they go and work for ADNOC or they go overseas, work for ENI, work for Shell, undoubtedly there'll be an element of knowledge comes back to Ras Al Khaimah. There'll be experience brought back over time, and the Emirate will benefit from that. So whilst we would love to ensure that we got first pick of any graduates, we're not wed to that, frankly. And as I say, the expectation and the hope is that we can support them in their journey and in promoting the industry in Ras Al Khaimah.
Thank you, Mr. McLean. Dr. Assaf, question to you. What are the qualifications of the faculty at the American University of Ras Al Khaimah?
Yeah, thank you. Well, actually, we are, because we are CA accredited, one of the things that differentiate us from other universities, let's say if you look at around here, is that most of our faculty have PhDs from North America, from Europe, from advanced countries. So this is very important because it will actually require so they are quite knowledgeable and they actually involved in research. The other thing is that another thing about the student experience. One of the things we emphasize here is that really the close relationship with students, because we have a 10-to-1 ratio, 10 students to 1 faculty ratio. This is very important. One of the best indicators for quality education is this kind of ratio between students and faculty, because it allows faculty, I myself as a teacher too, allows me to get closer to engage with students and so on. So we have that advantage here, in addition to the high qualifications of our faculty. But I'd like to speak about the expectations, actually, since one of the things that, I mean, from us, when someone comes to the university, one of the things they are actually coming to a new world in many ways. It's different from high school. In high school, you are in some way, you're protected. Once you come here, you are on your own. So you have to take advantage of the resources. Resources meaning faculty, library, facilities, and so on. So one thing I advise students is to really be engaged. Another thing is that they face problems, they come to us. So advising is a very important component of what we're doing. So we're there, we are happy to help students. So this is important to emphasize.
So, Dr. Hamid, going back to the advantage of the campus, AURAK campus. So, would you please tell us more information about the advantage of the AURAK campus? And
yes. One of the things that our campus, if you have the time to visit it, and I advise everyone to come, and we're happy to meet with anyone, has actually gone through really huge expansion since 2014. We took over in 2009, but from 2014 onward, we have really addition of great facilities. As an example, we have the building I'm talking from, the engineering building. We have a very excellent library with good resources, one of the best in the region. We also have a new building, arts and science building, that is really like the state of the art. In addition, all our laboratories are equipped with the state of the art equipment. And we are planning to open a new building here for labs in about a year time. And so this will be a great advantage here for students. So facilities, labs, also sports facilities. If you come to the campus, it is really green campus. We emphasize sustainability. That's extremely important. And I saw my, talk about here sustainability and the oil industry. I agree. There's a fundamental change in the oil industry regarding to emphasize sustainability. It's not just a matter of burning oil actually to generate energy. So it's much more than that. So the idea about that, we teach sustainability. This is very important that we do. So students will benefit. So I advise everyone to visit us. Another thing they can do is to go to our to see many videos we have. If you go and search, and I can place that on the chat, a link to our YouTubes. We have very nice YouTubes. You can quick 3-minute YouTubes. You can see what's going on the campus.
Thank you. One more question, Dr. Asa.
Yes.
You mentioned about the new building that coming soon in a year. So also for 2022 or 2023, what are some of the main goals for AURAK?
Yeah, one of the things we are trying to emphasize, one of the things we notice about, you see, when you look at students, we don't look just about what we teach only, we look at what happens later on. So we get feedback from the industry about what they wanted from students. So one of the things is communication skills. This is an extremely important part. So throughout our curriculum, we emphasize that component here. So students are expected to be, to write, to make presentations, to be involved in projects, like multi-team. So we emphasize that component. Another thing we are doing, we actually just introduced, in fact, the last couple of years, we have introduced 4 new programs. One of them is a flagship program called Artificial Intelligence. This has been actually very successful, but I'd like to emphasize the idea about artificial intelligence is not just for artificial intelligence per se. It's actually really for all engineers. what the expectation from industry is to have an engineer. It could be a petroleum engineer, or maybe a civil engineer, it could be any kind of engineer, but that has these, what they call the soft skills, communications, also this artificial intelligence and so on. This is another thing we emphasize. And the advantage that we have here is that we have all these programs in one place. If you go, for example, to some of the biggest, much bigger universities like AUS, American University of Sharjah, they only have maybe 5-6 programs. We have 15 programs. So we have a big advantage in that sense. And so our plans is the labs, as I mentioned. We are also planning to revise our curriculum. And we are continuously meet with accreditation bodies, the ABET, as I mentioned earlier, Dr. Sarah emphasized. This is very important. I advise everyone to read about it, what happens, because it improves the quality of the programs. Because these ABET accreditors, for example, or the CEE, when they come here, they want to make sure we have all the components that can help students to achieve their target to becoming, in this case, an engineer or an architect or interior designer.
Thank you for our guest speakers and for all the valuable information you provided us today. So we hope that all our audience benefit from today's information session. So for our audience, I just would like to remind you that if you have any inquiry or question about scholarship application, please don't hesitate to contact us or visit our office. And this is a gentle reminder that scholarship application deadline will be valid until June 30th. So please don't miss this opportunity and submit your application soon. And as another reminder, please follow us also on our Instagram platform, Study at AQF, to know all the news and any advertisements, any new services or new opportunity we provide for Ras Al Khaimah students. Okay, thank you again, and wish everyone a great night.